Hello guys, and once again welcome back to Hanek's English Academy. Today we're going to look into one of the most hotly debated topic, which is to describe the article on health you read on magazine or the internet. In this topic, you should say what was it, where you read it, why you read it, and how did you feel about it. To do this topic, you have to brainstorm. To answer the first question, which is what was it, I would say this was an article about the severity and prevention of the coronavirus. And where I read it? Very simple. I read it online on the Guardian website, to be specific. And why I read it? Because this is one of the most hotly debated topic up until now. And how did I feel about it? First, I felt attentive towards self-protection, as well as being more responsible to the public, to the people around me. And with that out of the way, let's get into the vocabularies. The first words that I would like to show you are come across, which is to see or meet something by chance. And severity is another word for seriousness. Intriguing means that something is highly interesting. And finally, perilous means that something which is extremely dangerous. Moving on to the next slide where we have the phrase hotly debated, which means that a topic which is discussed by many people with different opinions. Hesitation describes the act of pausing before doing something. Give it a shot. You can use this phrase whenever you want to try something out. And what's next? Here are some of the other vocabularies, including suffice it to say, which means that you don't really have to say about anything for anymore. Cast a glance on something, which means you have a quick look at something. When you find something digestible, it is highly easy to understand. And finally, drawn into, which is to be convinced into something. And lastly are a few more interesting words that I would like you guys to learn, which is contagious, which describes a disease that spreads by touching. Refrain from something is a verb that describes avoid doing something. And finally, when you make contact with somebody, you speak or you meet them. And with those vocabularies in mind, it's time for us to get straight to the real speaking test. Hello, so today I'm going to tell you about a health article that I had a chance to read on the internet. A few days ago, while I was surfing the Guardian, one of the most well-known news boards online, I happened to come across an intriguing piece of news as its title suggested the severity and prevention of the perilous coronavirus. As I had previously heard about its adverse impact on the global population, and also since this topic is currently one of the most hotly debated ones, after a moment of hesitation, I decided to give it a shot. And you know what? Right the moment when I cast a glance on the first few words, I was completely drawn into the article. I think this was probably thanks to the author's use of digestible vocabulary in describing the virus, as well as reports from trusted sources. Suffice to say, it only took me around 5 minutes or so to fully understand the virus spreading mechanism and factors that make it become highly widespread. What's more, thanks to his convincing way of writing, I felt like I became more aware of contagious acts, including spitting, sneezing without appropriate protection, thereby refraining from it whenever I make contact with others. In short, amongst most articles that I have read, this was probably one of the most simple, yet informative piece of news that I would barely forget. And by the way, that's the end of this video. If you really love the content, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and we would highly appreciate for such acts like that. And until then, see you guys later.